All right, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of GMS. All right. Shalom to you brothers out there in the four corners of the earth doing this work. All right. Today I want to do a lesson. All right. Basically going into locks and what locks truly are according to the scriptures, and according to how the Most High set it up, because you got a lot of guys in Israel, and a lot of our people who know they Israel, all right, okay, that basically they have an infatuation with locks. And when I say locks, I'm talking about dreadlocks, all right, okay. Now we all know that the Lord, He said that when you take the vow of a Nazarite, you're supposed to let your hair grow, all right, and you're supposed to lock it, okay, and you're supposed to not drink wine and strong drink, things like that. So I'm gonna start here at I'm gonna start with the scriptures, okay, and I'm basically gonna go through what lots truly are according to the scriptures, all right, and basically do away with this myth that you can wear dreadlocks, all right, because those are the locks that Samson wore, and those are the locks that the Nazarites wore, all right, when that's not the case, okay. So I'm gonna start here at Numbers 6:1, okay, and it says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when either man or woman," all right, because you also got a lot of our women that like to wear dreadlocks and stuff too, that's big amongst the black women, and amongst the men too. But this is basically going to break down what locks those men and women are supposed to wear, okay? It says, when neither man nor woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto the Lord, he shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine, or vinegar of strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes, or dried. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels even to the husk. All the days of the vow of his separation there shall no razor come upon his head, until the days be fulfilled, in the which he separateth himself unto the Lord. He shall be holy, and shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. Now, it says, and he shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. So this is the one of the scriptures that our people like to use to say that dreadlocks are cool with the Most High. We can wear dreadlocks in Israel and whatnot, but I'm gonna show you how that's completely off. So now I'm gonna go through this scripture here, all right, and I'm gonna look up that word lock, okay, in the Hebrew, all right, and okay, right here, and the word there is parai, okay. So gonna look up that word parai, and I should already have it up on the tab. All right, parai. Okay, this is the Hebrew word parai. All right, for that scripture in Numbers 6:13. And when you look up the definition, it says hair, long hair of head, locks. All right, so basically what the Most High is saying, when you vow the vow of a Nazarite, okay, you're going to basically let your hair grow long. All right, you're gonna let it grow long, enough so you can basically lock your hair. Now, okay, Now that's the Hebrew word for locks there in Hebrew 6:13, which is the Hebrew word okay, parai. All right. So now we're going to go from there to Judges. I'm going to go to the book of Judges. So like I have it up already. Book of Judges, chapter 16. Okay, now this is going into Samson's locks, okay? Alright, because Samson from birth, okay, was designated to be a Nazarite from birth. Alright? So Samson is an example of a Nazarite, okay, that took the vow to the Most High, okay, to be separated unto him. And he was a Nazarite from birth, okay, until the day of his death. Now, the first occurrence of Samson having locks in the scriptures begins in Judges 16. And let's see, I'm going to go through it. Now this is basically going into Samson and Delilah, and Delilah is basically trying to get the secret of Samson's power for the Philistines. Alright, so they can take him down. So I'm going to start at verse 6. Alright, and it says, Judges 16, verse 6. And Delilah said to Samson, Tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. Alright, now, first off, you know, if Delilah is really for Samson, you know, she's supposed to be his wife and whatnot, why does she want us to know, why does she want to know what would afflict that man? Alright, you know, that just shows how wicked these women are, man, you know. So she says, Tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. And Samson said unto her, If they bind me with 7 green withs that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Alright, and it says, and now Samson said he's going to be weak and be as another man because Samson has spiritual power. And when you read earlier in Judges, Samson had got into a fight with the lion and basically ripped him apart, you know, because Most High endowed Samson with that spiritual power, man. The same way he did with King David. All right. And this verse 8, it says, Then the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green withs which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he brake the withs as a thread of tow is broken when it toucheth the fire. So his strength was not known. Alright. It says, And Delilah said unto Samson, Behold, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, If they bind me fast with new ropes that never were occupied, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therewith, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And there were liers in wait abiding in the chamber, and he brake them from off his arms like a thread. And Delilah said unto Samson, Hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, If thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. Now, this is the main point. Alright? Because Samson told her, If thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. Alright, so we're going to go into verse 13. And we're going to break down. We're going to look up 2 words, matter of fact. Alright? Because, you know, words are important. So we're going to look up the word, the first word we're going to get. Is, it says, And he said unto her, If thou weavest the 7 locks of my head. So we're gonna look up. We're gonna look up the word. Let's get locks first. That's H253. So we're gonna get locks first. Okay. You already have it up, and there it is. It's maklapa. All right, maklapa. All right. And that's the Hebrew word for locks in that verse. So let's see what type of locks that Samson had. All right. Being a Nazarite, being a Hebrew Israelite. Okay. Were they dreadlocks? Well, let's see. Okay. And look, the definition for maklapa there in the Hebrew for the locks that Samson had says braid, lock, plait. All right. So Samson had braids, 7 of them. He had 7 braided locks, 7 braided plaits, and you know that's what Jake gets today. You know, Jake will go to the salon or whatever, and they'll get you know, you see, and Jake could get he'll get them locks, man. All right, he'll get them locks, them braids, them individual plaits. You see, Jake's wearing plaits. So, but you know, Samson had 7 of them. All right. So that's what Samson had. Samson had he had braids, man. When you look it up. All right. Now, let's now you know, I could end it right here and just show you, you know, Samson had braids, and there you go. And I gave you an image of them, you know. But let's go a little bit deeper, okay? Because I want to show you that whole dreadlock thing that Jake got going on, man. You know, Jake be wearing the dreadlocks and stuff like they really, you know, Nazarites, like he was in the ancient world, man. And that's not even so, man. They ain't got nothing to do with what the Most High said and being a Nazarite, man. All right. So let's look up to where dreadlocks came from. All right. So I have it up here, and basically we're gonna go into dreadlocks, okay? All right. It says dreadlocks. Dreadlocks, also called locks, aras, dreads, or jata, which is Hindi. It says are matted coils of hair. All right. It says matted. So basically, the hair is like clumped together. It's not weaved. Okay, it's not weaved together like braids are. All right, it's just matted together, and it's basically held together by some kind of substance like beeswax or you know, I know some people put honey in their hair to lock their hair and make it matted, you know, and then they twist it, but it's not weaved, so it's really not real locks. It says they are matted coils of hair. Dreadlocks are usually intentionally formed because of the variety of different hair textures. Various methods are used to encourage the formation of locks, such as backcombing. Additionally, leaving long hair to its own devices by not brushing or cutting the hair will encourage it to tangle together as it grows, leading to twisted, matted ropes of hair known as dreadlocks. Let's see. Okay, here we go. This is the point I wanted to get. It says the latter method is typically referred to as the neglect, natural, or freeform method. All right. It says dreads originated in Africa. All right. So that's a country or continent of origin for dreads. It says a common misconception is that those who have dreadlocks do not wash their hair, but this is usually not the case. Alright, since dreadlocks are associated most closely with the Rastafari movement, but people from many ethnic groups in history before them. Jake's big into, Rastafari and Bob Marley and that whole culture of dreadlocks in Africa, but it says here that people from many ethnic groups in history before them have worn dreadlocks. It says including many ancient Semitic and Indo-Aryan peoples of the Near East, like Moab, Ammon, and Asia Minor, Hamitic. It says Semitic, but Hamitic peoples of East Africa. Alright, back. Just had a minor computer problem, but I'm gonna just go ahead and get back into what I was saying. Because basically, alright, it says that dreadlocks basically originated in Africa. And what I was going into was it says they go back to East Africans like the Ethiopians, the Kenyans, the Maasai peoples of Africa. It says the Sedhus of Nepal, India, as Elam, and the Sufi. Alright, it says the Maori people of New Zealand, that's Japhet, the Maasai, like I said, and the Oromo of Ethiopia. They go Ethiopians. It says in the Sufi, Malangs, and Fakirs of Pakistan, ancient Spartan warriors of Greece, and medieval Irish warriors. So, basically dreadlocks originated with the heathen, man. That's a heathenistic custom to wear dreadlocks. History. I'm going down to history. It says the first known examples of dreadlocks date back to North Africa, and that's Ham, man. You got the Libyans, Sudan. You got Kenya up in there. And then you go towards east where you got the Ethiopians and whatnot. Put Mizraim. So basically, Hamites, man, they were known for wearing dreadlocks. It says in some parts of West Africa, Maasai men found in the region of northern Tanzania and southern Kenya claim that they have been wearing dreadlocks for as long as they have survived. Even today, Maasai men can be found easily donning their dreadlocks with a tint of red color from the soil. Alright, I think they got an example of that on here. Okay, they don't. Alright, it's a lucky. But, matter of fact, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that. Let's see. Okay, let's show these Maasai and these Hamites wearing dreadlocks, man. Because that's basically where Jake get it from. And here you go. Now these are Hamites, man. These ain't our people, all right. These are Hamites, man. These ain't no Israelites, all right. And you can see these are the Maasai, and man, he finished too, man. Real skinny, tall, bald headed. Woman don't look good at all. Okay, so here's a couple of warriors, all right. And as you can see, try to get in a little bit closer. All right, they're wearing dreadlocks, man. They're wearing dreadlocks. And they claim to have been wearing it since, it says as long as they have survived. So this is a part of their culture, man. Here goes some more. Here goes some more. So that whole dreadlock thing, man, that started with Ham, man. That's a Hamitic custom, man. All right. Now, these are supposed to be the modern day Egyptians, right? You see them in their culture; they wear crowns and stuff like that. You know. So, we're gonna go back. We're gonna read about the ancient Egyptians. It says, Maasai men can be found easily donning their dreadlocks with a tint of red color from the soil, and you saw how those Maasai had them red, them red clay colored dreadlocks, man. It says in ancient Egypt, examples of Egyptians wearing locked hairstyles and wigs have appeared on bas reliefs, statuary, and other artifacts. Mummified remains of ancient Egyptians with locks, as well as locked wigs, have also been recovered from archaeological sites. So, wearing dreadlocks and manual hair with dirt and clay, you see, it talks about, it said earlier that, you could clean them, but they put dirt in their hair, man. You know, it says from the soil. So I mean, it's not clean. That's not godly, man. Dreadlocks are not godly, and the Most High didn't give us locks, man. Okay, He gave us braids and plaits. It says the Hindu deity Shiva and his followers were described in the scriptures, which is not the Bible. It's talking about the Vedas, all right, which is what the Hindus read. It says in the scriptures as wearing jata'a, meaning twisted locks of hair. See, they're twisted. They're not braided. All right, they're not braided. It says the Greeks, the Pacific Ocean peoples. All right, which the Pacific Ocean peoples is Japhet, which are the original Greeks. Okay, the Naga people and several ascetic groups within various major religions have at times worn their hair in locks, including the monks of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, the Nazarites of Judaism, which they're going way off with that. It says Kwalandari Sufis, the Sadhus of Hinduism, and the Dervishes of Islam, among others. Then it goes on to say the very earliest Christians also may have worn this hairstyle, because they're lying. All right, Jake wore braids, man. It says particularly noteworthy are descriptions of James the Just, which is supposed to be the brother of Yahweh Shai. It says first bishop of Jerusalem, who wore them to his ankles. All right, and it says he had dreadlocks, but he didn't have dreadlocks. Okay, he probably wore braids, man. All right, and then it says down to his ankles, which that's probably a lie, because Scripture says a man is not supposed to wear long hair like a woman. So Esau be putting bones in there, man. But we know how to pick them bones out and get the meat. It says pre-Columbian Aztec priests, which they're Israelites too, were described in Aztec codex, including the Darien Codex, the Codex Tudela, and the Codex Mendoza, as wearing their hair untouched, allowing it to grow long and matted. And they probably had braids. They're probably lying about the Aztecs, but it's probably true too, because Issachar was real. Charles over here was real heathenistic too, man. Running around naked and stuff, sacrificing people to the volcano guys and whatnot. It's, just going off. But as you can see, all right, it says dreadlocks go back to Africa, man. All right. Wearing dreadlocks goes back to Ham and heathens, man. Our people shouldn't be walking around matting their hair and putting all kinds of crap in it, man. The Most High didn't designate that. All right, the Most High didn't designate our people to be wearing matted hair, man. Our people wear afros and braids and stuff like that, man. So let's go back to the scriptures. All right, and let's go back to Judges 16. Okay, and let's go back to Judges 16 and let's get Slocky. Let's get where I left off in verse 13. All right, because it says that locks were. It says that his locks were matted, man. You know, I mean, it says that dreadlocks were matted hair. But Samson said, no, it says that about Samson that his hair was weaved, man. Okay. So I'm gonna read, Judges 16 and 13 again. It says, and Delilah said unto Samson, hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. So we know now that Samson had braids, man. He had plaits. All right. He didn't have no dreadlocks. Okay. All right. We're gonna prove that. So now we're gonna look up the second word I want to go into, which is weavest. And the Hebrew word there for weavest is arag. Okay, arag. All right, I'm gonna look that word up. Okay, the Hebrew word arag, man. All right, I'm gonna look that up. And what does it mean? To weave cloth, to braid Samson's hair. So when it says braid, it tells you that Samson's hair was braided. All right, so that's a cut, man. That's a cut to all Israelites wearing dreadlocks, man. And then it says, and then when you look up weave, it says to plait, to weave. Use of the spider, a weaver's beam. But basically, okay, it says that Samson's hair was braided. Okay. It says to plait. All right, weaver, woven. So the Hebrew word for weavers is arag. Okay. Arag, which means to weave, to braid Samson's hair. So there you go. Samson had braids, man. Samson didn't have no Samson didn't have no no dreadlocks, man. He had braids, like in this picture here, man. All right. He had 7 braids similar to what you see there, man. All right. These just more images of Jake wearing braids, man. As you can see here, little boy got cornrows. But Jake wear braids, man. As you see, to go another Jake with plaits, and they're braided. As you can see, you can clearly see, the braids in the hair. All right. And you look to the right, it says pin box braids. Okay. And those are plaits, man. Box braids, plaits. That's what Jake is known for, man. Wearing braids, man. Not no damn dreadlocks, All right. So dreadlocks are off, man. Right? Dreadlocks is nowhere a part of Hebrew Israelite customs, man. And it's shown through the spirit of our people. All right, man, you got heathens trying to follow us and stuff too, man. But it's in our people's spirit to wear braids, man. When Jake started, coming back and knowing who they were, like back in the 70s and late 60s, we wore afros, man. And then we didn't just start dreadlocking our hair, except for them dumb Rastafari down there in Jamaica following Selassie. But we was wearing braids, man, and braids was popular. About 10, 15 years ago, man, Jace was wearing braids, man. You had Allen Iverson, Ludacris, Bow Wow, man. So you had all kinds of people that was walking braids, man. And look at those designs, man. That's You see those design, man? That's creative, man. Ain't nothing creative or spiritual about no damn dreadlocks, man. Our people wear braids and cornrows, man. That's what our people wear. Those are locks, man. And I'm gonna get another scripture too. Back to the blue letter. All right, another scripture in the book of Ecclesiastes. All right, because the Most High, you know. Man, Pat, before I get that, let me look up braids, man. Let's look up braids. Look up that word braid, man, because braids, those are locks, man. All right, and this is braids from Wikipedia. All right, and as you can see here, all right, these are braids on some strings. It says braids made from 3, 4, 5, and 6 yarns. So you can, you can braid hairs all kinds of ways, man. You know, it says a braid, also called plait, all right, is a complex structure or pattern formed by intertwining, all right, 3 or more strands of flexible material such as textile fibers, wire, or human hair, compared to the process of weaving. Man. And when you look up that word weaving, like we did earlier in the Hebrew, you look up that word weaving, all right. I think I probably went out of it, but when you look up that word weaving, man, it means to braid, man. Samson's hair, you know, and Samson had he had plaits, man. He had plaits. So it says a braid, also called plait, is a complex structure or pattern formed by intertwining 3 or more strands of flexible material such as textile fibers, wire, or human hair, compared to the process of weaving. Alright, a wide sheet of cloth from 2 separate perpendicular groups of strands. A braid is usually long and narrow, with each component strand functionally equivalent and zigzagging forward through the overlapping mass of the others. It says the simplest possible braid is a flat, solid 3-strand structure in some countries. Cases in some countries, all right, cases called a plait. More complex braids can be constructed from an arbitrary but usually odd number of strands to create a wider range of structures, wider ribbon-like bands. Okay, so you get the point, all right. So that's what we're dealing with here, man. We're dealing with braids, man. We're not dealing with dreadlocks. We're not dealing with we're not dealing with dreadlocks, man. Or locks or whatever you want to call them, man. We're dealing with braids, man. That's how the Most High set it up for a Nazarite to wear, man. All right. You know, Judges 16 real quick. All right, so you know, like I said, when you look up the word weavis, which is arag in the Hebrew, all right, arag, it says to weave cloth, like we read in the article, and it says to braid Samson's hair. All right, so Samson had braids, man. Point blank, period. He didn't have dreadlocks. Like some people depict Samson as having dreadlocks, or even the Lord. You know, you look up, you know, you go to, you look up Jesus, right? Who's supposed to be, you know, whose real name is Yahweh Shai, right? And they say he had dreadlocks, man. You know, see this bullshit? And look at this shit, man. See this shit? It's BS. It's bullshit. It says Jesus had dreads. You know? It says it's kind of small. Let's see if I can make it bigger. You know? It said Jesus had dreads, man, and the Lord didn't wear that, man. It says Jesus Christ had dreads. So shake 'em. I ain't got none, but I'm planning on growing some. Old E40 line, man. But you see, man, they try to show the Lord with dreadlocks, man. Like that's supposed to be pro-black, you know? Nah, man, that's pro-Ham, man. Hamites wear that hairstyle. You know, ain't nothing spiritual or nothing clean. Ain't nothing clean about dreadlocks, man. That's what these Hamites wore, man. These nasty, disgusting, you know, and then no telling what else they use to mat their hair, man. Like I said, I was being nice when I said honey, but it said they use soil, man. You probably use, you know, cow shit and everything, man. Goat shit to mat their hair and lock it, man. You know, they stink. You know, you can't really clean. You can't really clean that, man. You can't really clean dreadlocks, man, and get to the scalp and the crown of the head. So I'm going to get another scripture, right, to show you how braids are spiritual, man. And the Most High talks about braids in the book of Ecclesiastes. All right, Ecclesiastes, the 4th chapter. Okay. And I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, this Ecclesiastes 4:9. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, then one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Verse 11. Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And the main point is in verse 12. And if 1 prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him, and a 3-fold cord is not quickly broken. And we all know a 3-fold cord is a braid. And it says it's not quickly broken. Alright, so that's a lock. You know, you can't break a lock. You know, you have to have a key or unlock it. You know what I'm saying? But it says a 3-fold cord. And I'm looking that word up. 3-fold. It says shalash. Alright, see how deep this goes, man. It says to do a 3rd time, do 3 times, divide in 3 parts. Alright. You know, and I think the spiritual number, the spiritual meaning for the number 3 is understanding. You know, you got knowledge, wisdom, understanding, mercy. Right? So, you know, it's spiritual, man. It says a 3-fold cord. It says, and if 1 prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him, and a 3-fold cord is not quickly broken. I said easily earlier, but I meant to say quickly broken. Yeah, because you need a key. All right, and then what's the Hebrew word for cord, which is a chawat. It says a thread, cord, line, string. Right, and we just seen that in when you looked up braids, man. It says a braid is a you know, like a cord. All right, and these are different examples of braids, man. So, you know, I just want to go into that and show our people that you know, Samson wasn't wearing no dreadlocks, man. And neither was the Lord. All right, because when you look up, you know, when you look that word up in Judges 16 and 13, and it says, "Weavest the 7 locks of my head, all right, with the web." All right, you look that word up, man. All right, where it says weavest. All right, I'm gonna go into it again. Where it says a weavest, which is a rod. All right, the Hebrew word a rod means to weave or to braid Samson's hair. All right, so Samson had braids, man. And then you look up locks, because people still, I know Jake's still gonna try to justify, nah, man. No, those are dreadlocks. Well, I'm looking it up for you, man. The 7 locks, and 7 means completion, man. Shabbat. 7 locks, man. So those locks that Samson wore, maklapa, okay, maklapa means to braid, lock, or plait of hair. So he had braids of hair on his head. Samson had braids of hair, man. So for all you dreadlock rastas out there, man, Samson didn't wear. He didn't wear. He wore. He wore braids, man. That's all. 666. But that's basically the lesson on dreadlocks, man. I just wanted to prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that dreadlocks are off, man. All right, dreadlocks is off, man. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders, man. I hope you brothers were edified extremely, through this lesson. Extremely edified, man. Because Most High is dealing with braids, man. He's not dealing with no dreadlocks, man. Alright, so with that, shalom to you, Octo, and preaching the word, man. Stay strong, and shalom.